order. There's a couple topics I want to talk about. I'd really like to see the council try to put on the agenda the next couple of months. We do have an election coming up in June. I think one of these will take a vote of the public. First of all, I don't know if the council can change this or takes a vote of the public. We need to put an ordinance in the city where we have a vacancy on the council. We fill the vacancy by vote only. No more appointees. I ran for city council. It's a lot more work than being appointed. And I think that to be on the council, you should be voted by the public. That's democracy. Even if it costs money, people have lost their lives for democracy. And we need to respect that. Number two is I think we need to go back to where the mayor is selected by the council. We've had 3 mayors since we started this, electing the mayor by the whole city. I personally do not see where the city's any better off, or leadership's any better off than it was under the old system. Number 3, and I know this takes an election, by the public, we need to go back to where we don't have these districts. We need to have an election where if there's 2 empty seats, the 2 people who get the most votes are on the council. Because again, I don't see where any area of the city has better representation, but the city as a whole is doing any better by splitting us up into districts. Because I hear a lot of, my district this, my district that. We need to work for the good of the city as a whole, not just for our individual districts. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Rita Flores, and I live at 1030 Almond. And I've noticed that there's a big semi that's parked between the alley and my driveway. And I noticed there's not supposed to have big semis in the residential areas. When I go through town, I see a lot of big trucks parked in residential areas. Before it used to be a violation. What's happening now? When I pull out, and I live by a daycare, so I need to know what's gonna happen. If you guys gonna find out about this trucks, hey, there's other places that can be parked at, and they don't need to be parked in the residential areas. So that's all I want. And the streets, when are they gonna fix the streets?
1030 Almond was the location?
Yes.
Follow up with code enforcement.
Okay, thank you.
You may, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Kevin Carter in his first 2 points. I don't think we should eliminate districts altogether, but I think we do need to elect the mayor by the council and have 5 districts in the city. I also think you need to resign. This city, we've had a police officer sexually assault people. Now we have a mayor accused of domestic violence allegedly against his wife. And you're trying to bring business, you say you want to bring business into this community. What business is going to want a picture with a man accused of domestic violence? I think it's time for you, for the betterment of the city, whether you're guilty or not, I don't care. This city does not need this hanging over its head. I think the right thing to do is to resign, take care of this legal situation, however it turns out, and then run for re-election again, if you're so inclined. And I'm kind of disappointed in the rest of the council members for not speaking up. The only one who spoke up is Ms. Hurtado. And this can't be tolerated in our community. We cannot tolerate domestic violence. We are a poor community, we have a lot of domestic violence, and to see our mayor arrested for domestic violence and then play it off like nothing's happened is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to our city. So I think you need to do the right thing, resign, and just take care of that personally, whether you're guilty or not, I don't really care. But currently, it's an embarrassment to our city. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Mayor and Council, I am embarrassed to hear one of our council members talking, right? I think that,
I think that was a public, I think that was.
is it public?
He refers to himself as a council member.
Okay, just want to get that straight, because there was kind of confusion on the backside.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, but I would say this, of course, we're all able to say what we want to say. But we don't even know what's happening. And at that point, I think we just need to just hold up. And then we work forward so we can get this city where it needs to go. But not this kind of stuff, not like this. Because that's not what Sanger's about. Thank you.
Thank you for your
last speaker before the present one that was speaking from outer space, he's a lawyer. I would imagine that you have a right to a trial. You haven't been adjudicated for anything. This is not a defense of you, but the system. People that are shooting their mouth off have stepped in it, as far as I'm concerned. You have your day, you have your rights.
Thank you for your comments.
I think we should let the process go out. It's up to council, Eli, or mayor, what to do. You know, he knows what's right. I see him grow up, he's a good man, he'll do the right thing. Don't worry about it, just worry about the city.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Right ahead.
Thank you. You know, I think all these people need to sit down and think about what is actually best for the city. If you Google the Sanger mayor, right, which a business would if they want to come to Sanger, the first thing they see is the mayor being arrested for domestic violence. That's the first thing they see. You want to start a business? You want to bring a business, a big business that everybody in Sanger wants? What do you think they're going to do? The first thing they're going to do is Google who is Eli. And what are they going to see? Arrested for domestic violence. Is that what we want? I mean, people aren't going to want to come to this city and take pictures with the mayor saying, I'm opening up a great business, when the mayor is literally accused of domestic violence and was arrested for it. As I stated, I don't care if you're guilty or not. He's sad if you are, we really talk about your character, but the fact of the matter, it is not good for Sanger to have our mayor arrested for domestic violence. It's not good for the image of the city at all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Okay. Yeah, anyway, for someone that doesn't care if you're guilty or not, it sounds pretty passionate one way or another. And as a serviceman, Vietnam War, there's a lot of servicemen out there. You know, we fought for people's rights. We should not forget about that. Everybody has rights here. But I just want to talk about what happened at the last meeting. I'm pretty disappointed, but not surprised that at our last meeting in December, you people allowed one of your councilperson to insult citizens and constituents' intelligence and make comments about their asses. You guys remember that, he said. It's recorded, so there's proof now that you guys just don't care about about your constituents. Instead of, you know, maybe counting your money or thinking about going home or whatever you guys were thinking about, something should have been said to correct him. As a result, he's created a big breach of faith and loss of credibility. How can anyone now bring their concerns to him, running the risk of insults? You seem to have forgotten that you guys work for us. But as a council person, he has no scruples as a council person. So this will go nowhere, I'm sure. But you guys will listen to other comments. You know, when it came to the recall, that we again, as people, didn't know what's going on. We don't. What's wrong with this? Well, what's wrong with us is there's something wrong with you guys, and we're trying to bring that out. And if you don't understand about why we're having the recalls, maybe I can put it in a different form or phrase that you might understand. It's almost like, would you guys listen to a leaking faucet every night, or would you fix it, you know, as soon as possible? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fix a problem here. We're not going to wait till December. 11 months. We're not going to do that.
Fucking love getting covered in shit.
I have a lot of, there's a lot of, somebody making a comment back there, and I don't appreciate that.
I think somebody's trying to hack the meeting. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, well that's, okay, then how about, if you don't like that scenario, how about having an abscess tooth? Would you go around with a rotten tooth, or would you have it pulled out, get rid of that rotten tooth with all of its pus, and before it becomes a pain in your neck? I don't know what it's going to take for you guys to understand we're not happy with some of you council people. If it's trying to save money, is that what the argument was about? Saving money for the election in November? Well, prove that you can't save money. Look at your contract you just approved with the labor. That's where you could have saved some money. But, you know, I don't know, there's a big disconnect, is how I feel, between council people and us citizens out here. Everybody doesn't have their opinion, so I would hope that.
Sir, your time
Mr. Mayor's time is out.
Your time's up. Can you please wrap it up, sir?
Sure, well, long story short, I would hope that Mr. Garza would step down, because he has no more credibility whatsoever.
Thank you for your comments,
Thank
sir.
you.
Well, it's unfortunate that, you know, there's a lot of comments, and we understand people have, you know, feelings and impressions, but a lot of people are making judgments without knowing information, without knowing facts, and that's why investigations happen. We live in a country with due process, and we have a country that also operates through justice, the justice system. So, you know, I could just bring up Joaquin Arambula. He was accused just a few years ago of some serious issues with his family, and he went through the process, and he also defended himself and resolved any claims or investigations that he was involved with through the judicial process. So people who are making preliminary judgments have to understand they don't know all the information, and people can be accused at any time, in any place, and people have a right to defend themselves. We have a right to be independent free thinkers, and we have a right to protect ourselves. And if it's a personal matter and not a city business, let's separate the two and wait for the results. We don't know what the results will be. Everyone is entitled to due process. Everyone. And if anyone is accused of anything, we would have people being stepping down left and right. This is not the system we operate on. That's why we're the United States of America. So I just want to remind everyone, hold your judgments. The city of Sanger has way bigger problems before anything has happened this month or last month. Way bigger problems. Those problems way overshadow anything. Those problems exist that affect business and economic development and government in our communities and crime. So take the mask off and look at the whole picture, and you might, you know, want to rethink things and wait for all the facts, wait for the information. The results will define itself, and the resolution that'll come will resolve itself. But until then, I think people can save some grace. I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Thank you.
That if there is a felony arrest, it is because there is visible evidence. I've known the mayor a very long time and the family, but I also feel that when the position was taken, it was taken to be a representative of Sanger, not just in public, but in private as well. And when your private life becomes a distraction to the business of the city, it is time to take a back seat. It's time to step down. It's time to remove yourself from creating any hindrance from your small town that has a lot of issues to move forward. I know people are talking about grace and forgiveness, and I do believe that 100%, but there also has to be repentance and an acknowledgement as to what has happened. And I believe the city is owed that. I believe that we need to move forward and distance ourselves from this particular situation. And in doing so, it'll show other people and businesses and people who have interest in coming to Sanger that we are doing something of action, and that the care of the city and the image of the city is greater than that of the person. That is all.
Thank you for your comments.